Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to begin this analysis by asking you one question. Do you think the IEBC, as currently constituted with the new commissioners, will procure to us a fair, honest, and verifiable election, beginning with the by-elections, but majorly the general election in 2027? I'm asking this question because the only man standing in the ODM, the only man who has decided that he's not going to block his conscience to the mistakes that are being performed in the broad-based government, Edwin Sifuna, has told Kenyans to have their ears out and their eyes open, because he says there is a clandestine plan that the IEBC and William Ruto could be working together to rig the 2027 elections. Now, in his speech, Sifuna defied Raila Amolo Odinga because he still continues to declare William Ruto a one-term president. But he's saying that the only stumbling block to taking William Ruto home, because he believes Kenyans have decided, is the IEBC. And from what Sifuna is saying, the IEBC is testing waters, flouting, and going against some laws just to test how Kenyans are going to react. And I want you to listen to Sifuna, and you will agree with me that he's got a point and Kenyans must stand firm. As we watch this video, please like and share this video because it goes a long way in supporting the video. If you are here for the first time, please subscribe and click the notification bell. This is Edwin Sifuna.
Nizungumzia IEBC na niketi. Mimi najua Wakenya wameamua. Mtu akituambia sisi tungoje 2027. I feel like watu wameshaamua. Hao watu sasa hivi kuwapea ballot Sunguya, wanapeleka watu nyumbani. Sasa hivi na tunataka wakati Wakenya watazungumza 2027, mtu asijaribu kukoroga matokeo ama aharibu sauti ya Wakenya. Ninapata wasiwasi sana ninapoona zile decisions ambao hawa ndugu zetu wageni wa IEBC wanafanya. Jambo la kwanza, Mheshimiwa Koleleno, wewe unajua kwamba sheria inasema mtu akiondoka kwa nomination slot, kama alikuwa amenominatiwa under category ya youth, unatafuta ule alikuwa next kwa category ya youth unampatia. Kama alikuwa under women ama workers ama PWDs, unachagua next kwa hiyo category, si ndio? Haiwezekani mtu alikuwa kwa list ya PWD kwa mfano ameondoka, uende uchukue category ya workers. What that does is that it results in underrepresentation of the category that person was nominated. Sasa kuna kijana yako hapa Kajiado anaitwa Ketora. Ketora was the next person kwa list ambayo Mbadi alikuwa nominated. Mbadi was nominated under the category ya workers. Hawa jamaa wakaenda wakachukua mtu kutoka kwa list nyingine wakamweka pale ndani. Unanielewa? Sasa sheria inasema waandae uchaguzi mdogo 90 days after receiving a writ ya kwamba kuna vacancy. Wameweka chaguzi ndogo 27th of November, which is almost 110 days from today. From Friday actually when they gazetted. They are blatantly breaking the law. Hawa ni watu, na niliwauliza hata hiyo ya Ketora. Wakaniambia wewe si tushamaliza, we have functors official, if you have a problem go to court. Hawa ni watu ambao tunaweza kusema one term, alafu wao waseme two term, alafu watuambie tuende kotini kama tunataka. So Wakenya nataka mfunguke macho. Mfunguke macho, tunataka hawa ndugu zetu wajue. We will not allow interference in the voice of the people, because you can only govern people who have given you consent to govern them. Hamuta tulazimishia rais wakati tumesema aende nyumbani. Asanteni sana. Mungu awabariki.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take cognizance of the fact that Sifuna still believes that William Ruto is a one-term president, despite the resolutions that were made by the ODM, despite Raila Amolo Odinga telling us that those who are saying one term are making noise like a frog making noise to a cow that will continue drinking water despite all the croaking of the frogs. And Sifuna is still saying it blatantly that he believes Kenyans are decided and that William Ruto must go home. So Sifuna said it once again. People have been asking, was he compromised? Why did he read the resolution of the Central Committee? But Sifuna has made it clear, even after that resolution, that should the ODM come up with another resolution that they will be working with UDA, then he will not read and he will not be in ODM. So he has made it, he has affirmed it again this time round. I want us to look at something very critically. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a reason why laws are made, and laws should be followed. However small you think or trivial you think those laws are. Now, if the IEBC is supposed to conduct an election 90 days after the gazettement of a gazettement notice, that is a law and should not be compromised in any way. Now, if the IEBC has given a notice and they plan to conduct an election more than 90 days as is provided in the Constitution, then there's a risk in it. You know, currently, there is something in question. When will the general election, the presidential election in 2027 take place? It is a question, and legal experts and legal minds are saying that if we are not careful, there could be a constitutional crisis. And so if Kenyans will allow the IEBC to conduct an election outside the stipulated, number of days, then this will be a case study and will be even quoted in a court of justice. They can extend the presidential election. And the question will be this: why are Kenyans complaining if they extend the presidential elections, yet they allowed the by-elections to go beyond the stipulated number of days? What will the lawyers say? Because the court might ask, where were the lawyers? Where were the people's representatives when the IEBC published in advance that they were going to conduct an election beyond the days that had been stipulated within the law? Don't you see there is a risk there? Because we are being prepared for something else. And then when you begin to see people who tell others, we have done it, go to court, then you know that that is an arrogance that has gotten into them. They have started behaving like Chebukati. Those statements remind me of, some drama in KICC when Martha Karua then supporting an illegal government, a government that had rigged, the government of Mwai Kibaki. And the opposition was asking questions, and Martha said, if you are dissatisfied, go to court. I know the courts are supposed to give legal redress, they're supposed to give legal interpretation. But when you see a leader telling you, we have done it, go to court, it will come out to be a wild goose chase. Kenyans, I feel this is a red alert. When someone breaches the Constitution and tells you to go to court, what exactly do they want? And you see, as usual, Sifuna has told us what is happening, but Kenyans will ignore the red alerts. I like Kenya because we speak about it and we let it go. Serious matters that are touching on elections are not supposed to be played around with. So I get concerned. Why do I have a feeling that these people are working with or for William Samoei Ruto? We have a president who has come out blatantly and told the courts, I will not listen to you. Remember when some people went to court to challenge the housing levy, to challenge the transition of NHIF to what we now have, the Taifa Care? William Ruto had a sword and he said, I was given a sword to deal with you. William Ruto said, these are people who are hell-bent to be stumbling blocks to his projects. And he said he will not. How do we have a country where the head of state says, I will not. And so when you listen to the IEBC, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, begin these talks. We are doing it, go to court. Then they are speaking the language of the executive. And when we wanted the head of the judiciary to stand firm, William Ruto ordered Madam Koome to meet him in State House. So as early as this, the IEBC is giving us a picture that they might have been compromised. There have been questions as to whether we have an independent body. The other reason why we think, and it's really shocking us that we are concerned, some of these independent bodies are only independent in paper or on paper. They have been pocketed. Tell me any institution that's still exercising its independence. Maybe the courts are trying, but not 100%. I remember when Judge Nyotu called out the office of the Director of Public Prosecution, she was transferred. That tells you that the government is allergic to criticism. The government is allergic to anyone who is trying to go against their will. So the independence of this commission is highly questionable. Once someone wants you to go to court, it's going to drag and take people, sometimes before the elections are performed and conducted. What stops them, as Sifuna is saying there, when people vote and condemn William Ruto to a one term? What stops this IEBC to change and help him be a two term? And then what will you be told? Go to court. That has been the song. They have started so early that Kenyans must also understand that if we don't meet them by the same force and compel them to obey the law, then we are cooked and we are doomed. There's an IEBC that might even change the numbers. They might go against the will of the people. Why not? Because these are just but litmus tests. They're trying to test, what will you say, what will you do if they go against the Constitution? Because one step will lead to the other. And then before you know it, it will be too late for us. I really find it very unsettled or unsettling when we have a body that is paid by taxpayers' money, working as if they are the ones that have employed us. Yet in real sense, we are the ones who have employed them. Now, Sifuna is warning against election malpractices. And I think this is the same thing that Rigathi said. Yet they said they wanted to arrest Rigathi Gachagua. And of course, I know there was a rider when Rigathi said, if they dare rig elections, then the 207, whatever happened in 207 will look like a Christmas party. But even though Sifuna is not saying, is not giving any consideration to 207, Sifuna is saying, we will not allow. So what is the difference between what Sifuna is saying and also Rigathi Gachagua was saying? It only tells you that these people had a very ulterior motive against Rigathi Gachagua. But my point is, let us force the government and public officers to act within the law. That is the bottom line. And you remember in 2017, in his ruling, Rigathi said the greatness of a nation lies in its fidelity to the Constitution. I mean, strict adherence to the rules of law, the laws of the land. Mimi nakwambia, IEBC wakitoboa, they go against the law, people are quiet. When they do that in 2027, when they extend the tenure of William Ruto, and they say, we're not going for election now, we have challenges, we might go in 2 or 3 years' time, I know for right now you can say haiwezekani, but the only thing they will tell you, go to court. Because the courts have been used to intimidate people. And when you go to court, they shall have manipulated the court. So I really think that we look at, with a fine-tooth comb, what Edwin Sifuna is saying, and all the human rights groups, Kenyans of goodwill, must rise up and compel, because I found it very disturbing that this IEBC is telling Sifuna, or telling us, wewe enda kotini, sisi tushafanya. It is a pointer to what will happen. What if people vote and telling us, go on, you can see that the executive, the William Ruto, is being defeated. And then the IEBC, do their thing, you know what I mean? And then they come up with the result that the winner is there for William Samoei Ruto. And you're dissatisfied and you're told, go to court. I don't know what you think, but Sifuna is beating the warning drums. And Sifuna alone cannot win this battle. Once he has exposed what is happening, let Kenyans take it up. But if you ask me, if things continue this way, in an environment where Ruto closest allies have even declared that they are going to rig elections, they are going to top up if the numbers are will not be adequate to propel Ruto to power. What any other red alert do you need? Oscar Sudi said, we cannot accept to be defeated because this opposition will jail us. They will act in revenge. And then you have an IEBC that is wishy-wishy. I'm telling you, we either unite and rise up together, or we'll be cooked together. I don't know what to think about Sifuna's statements, but we need to call out the IEBC. Strict adherence to the Constitution is all we need. Elections are very emotive. We have a very dark history. When people did not even imagine Kenyans could rise to that level, they fought. People were displaced. In your own country, you get displaced. People were maimed, people were killed because of a decision of an IEBC that was supposed to bring order and sanity. We've seen our parliament acting in disregard to Kenyans' opinions, and they passed the Finance Bill 2024. People went to the street and they were killed. So we could look at the statistics and history and conclude that the IEBC has got every mandate to ensure that there is peace after elections. But by their actions, and as early as now, they don't intend to conduct an election that will be free and fair. I don't know what to think, but that's my take.